What's up, YouTube? Today we're reviewing the 2021 Ford F-150 Tremor. Huge thank you to Matt Newman over at Koons Sterling Ford. If you're interested in this particular Tremor, any F-150 Expedition or Explorer, I'll have his information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. First, let's talk about looks. I think this thing has an aggressive looking front end. And if you come up to the top of the hood, you can see that it's got like a baby cowl induction type hood along with these Raptor-esque hood vents. However, these hood vents up top are not functional, but they still do look good and they add to the look of the front end of the truck. But moving down, what you get with the Tremor package is these orange accents right here. However, directly in the sunlight, they look more of like a bronzish metallic type color, but that's what they look like in the sun. They're supposed to be orange, and when we move into the interior, you'll see the accents on the inside are orange. However, on the outside in the direct sunlight, these look bronze. But you also get this black Ford badge right here where normally that would be blue. And moving down, you also do have the bronze, again, tow hooks on the bottom as well as a skid plate down there. You also get these blacked out LED headlights with these awesome daytime running lights. The daytime running lights start up here and follow through to the bottom of the fog light down here. These are LED fog lights as well as LED headlights right up there. And I really do like how on the bottom of the front bumper, it is color matched. And I think the white on like that shark gray color of the grille looked just very good. And I also think that this black Ford badge looks very good. And if you come to the bottom of the Ford badge, you do see you have your front facing camera right there. And along the bottom of the front bumper, you do have your front sensors right there. So if you're getting too close to an object, it'll beep on the inside of the cabin. But moving alongside, you do have 18-inch wheels with 33-inch tires. These are a 275 square stance, and I think they are a very aggressive looking tire. So you could definitely do some off-roading with these. Here, let's take a little profile of these tires. So if you want to look, they are general grabber tires, and these are monotube shocks right here. One thing I did want to mention actually before we move along is that the Tremor is raised an inch in the front and an inch and a half in the back as opposed to like a regular F-150. So that is something that you do get with the Tremor package. So you could think of the Tremor kind of like a baby Raptor, or if you want to equate it to other brands, you could think of this kind of as like a Ram Rebel or a Chevy Silverado Trail Boss. So it's in the same league of those, and I haven't driven either one of those, but what I can tell you right off the bat is that those two brands definitely have some competition, because this thing is really nice looking, not only on the outside, but it's also very nice on the inside. However, you do get this Tremor badging on the front fenders as well as the rear fenders back here and along the tailgate as well. I'll show you that when we get back there. But again, another look at these wheels and tires. I think they're very aggressive, and I think they are a perfect mix of off-roady and street driving. So when I was on the street, you don't really get that much tire noise, so it's not obnoxious. But you got your gas cap right here. You have a easy fuel gas cap, and like I said, the Tremor badging right here in that orangey bronze type color. I think the badging looks very nice. And like moving along to the rear, you also, like I mentioned, do have your Tremor badge right there. And you know, I think it actually looks very good because you have the black outline on the outside of each letter, but you also in the middle have the fill of that orangey color like I was talking about. But like with a Tremor, this thing can pull 10,900 pounds, and I believe the max payload is 1,886 pounds. But let's open up this tailgate right here. Soft open tailgate like that. You also do have your forward step like you do in pretty much all the F-150s. You also do have a 2 kilowatt generator right here with 2 household outlets right there, and to turn on the generator, you push that button right there. You also do have LED cargo lighting right there. So if it's at nighttime, you can load this bed up easily without having to worry about seeing stuff, because you got your lights right there. To turn it off, obviously push the light again and it goes off slowly. This one in particular does not have bed liner. However, you can get a bed liner, and you also do have these tie down straps at all 4 corners of the bed as well. But let's close that right there. Obviously you have a backup camera right here, and you do have a LED light right here again, so if it's at night, makes it just a little bit easier to see and to open up your tailgate. And obviously, like the front, you do have parking sensors in the rear as well. This does have park assist, so this can help you back into tight situations. The truck will pretty much do everything. So if you suck at parallel parking, you're probably going to want to get that option. But you do have dual exhaust back here, and I do think the dual exhaust looks very good. It doesn't poke out past the rear bumper, and if you look on the rear bumper, there's a little bit like of a raised type thing, so it kind of gives it a little more definition of where the exhaust pipes are right there. But moving along, again, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it, but you do have these two recovery hooks back here, and they are not in orange like they are in the front. This is your blind spot monitoring thing right here, and these are LED rear tail lamps as well. Again, Tremor badging right there. Moving along, and with the Tremor, you can only get the Tremor in a Super Crew configuration with the 5.5 foot bed. So if you want the extended cab with the bigger bed, you cannot do that. You actually have, this is the only configuration that you can get the Tremor in. And moving along to the front, let's talk about performance real quick. The Tremor makes 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, and all that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission, which is capable of pushing this truck from 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds. So definitely nothing to fret about. That's definitely very quick. However, it is not as quick as the Power Boost F-150 Platinum that I did in the last review. That thing was a 0 to 60 of 5.4 seconds. However, I think I like the EcoBoost a little bit better. I don't know, I just think that it feels like it drives a little bit better than the Power Boost, just like from stop and go type things. But I think I like the way that the EcoBoost powertrain feels just a little bit better. But moving in, like you can see right here, you got another camera. This thing does have a 360-degree view camera, but let's step in. Obviously, you do have keyless access. So moving in, you got this nice material up top here. It's not a leather material, however, it does feel very good. You also do have these orange stitching right here, as well as, I think it looks like faux forged carbon, but I think that it looks very good. Moving along the door card, you also do have a really nicely padded armrest right here, again with more of that orange stitching. And obviously you got tons of storage space down here for water bottles or whatever you need like that. But moving in, obviously you do have your Bang & Olufsen sound system. It is 18 speakers, and you do have speakers in the headrests as well. And also, looking at the seats, you do have Tremor embossed at the top of the seats, which I think looks very good. And you also do get more of those orange accents with this orange piping that goes along the sides of the seats. And also the perforation in the leather is like the mix of the orange and black, and I just think that it looks very good, very premium, and it just gives you the impression that you've got a special F-150. It's not just like a Platinum or a Lariat or something like that. You've got like a special edition F-150, which is the Tremor. I don't know, I think all the seats look very good. Again, the Tremor is embossed in all 4 seats, like you can see right there. But now that we're inside, let's start her up. Obviously, put your foot on the brake, push this button right here, and you do have that 12-inch screen right there. I believe this music's probably gonna pop on real quick, so I'm gonna turn it down. Pause it right there. And again, you do obviously have your 12-inch screen right here, as well as your digital dash right here. And you do have a bunch of different driving modes, and your driving mode selector is right down here. So obviously you can turn it to the right or to the left. Right now we're in normal mode. You've got tow haul mode, eco mode, sport mode, and if you keep moving along, we'll go back the other way. You've got slippery, deep sand / snow, mud, ruts, and rock crawl mode. You do have a trailer braking system right here, and obviously I pushed it and we don't have a trailer connected, so it's giving me a little beep. Let's turn that off. Let's put it back into normal mode right here. So just keep turning the knob until you're in normal mode. And each mode, like you could see right there, is a different like layout. So the colors change. So right now we're in normal mode. Let's go into sport mode. And you can just see that each mode, you can see you got a different layout, which I think is really cool. But pretty much all your information for the vehicle is within this screen, so you can go through each of these different menus and stuff like that, but we're not really going to do that right now. Obviously you got your fuel gauge and stuff like that up top here to let you know, hey, is my car running hot? How's my oil pressure doing? Stuff like that. One thing I also really do like about the Tremor package is that you do have this orange accent stitching on the steering wheel, as well as more of that orange accent throughout the interior right up here and on the side over there, as you can see, and obviously on that side of the car as well. But obviously we know how all this stuff works if you watch my Platinum review. Basically the same exact interior right here. And I do like how you can adjust the volume, the tune knob, and if you want air condition or heat, with gloves on. So definitely no issue. And you can also mess with the fan with gloves on as well. Moving down here, USB-C, USB-A. You do have your folding gear shift right here, just by the push of that button. So if you want it down, just push this button right here. But if you want it up, obviously just push the button and it'll come right back up. But if you want to put it in drive and put it into manual mode, all you do is just go like this and then press that M right there, and then you can adjust what gear you're in with these buttons right here. Obviously, 2 cup holders right here. If you're charging your phone with the USB-C or USB-A, you can just set your phone right in here, or you could set your phone right here. This car does have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and like I said, it does have that 18 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, which sounds incredible. I really like the way that it sounds. There's no rattling. It's just a very clear sound system. It sounds very good. So if you're on the fence about getting the Bang & Olufsen and you like listening to music loud, definitely get the Bang & Olufsen sound system. But moving up here, 6 auxiliary switches. You've got a place to store your sunglasses right there. And this car in particular does have a panoramic moonroof. So I'm just gonna open up the shade right here just so you can kind of get an idea. When you open up the shade, the interior feels a lot more open, but you know, you're also letting in the sunlight, which kind of heats the car up a little bit. But like I mentioned, you do have that Bang & Olufsen sound system, and you do have some speakers in the roof right here, like you can see. And I don't think I mentioned, this thing does have a dual glove box right here. So you got a glove box on top, and if you open this, you got a glove box on bottom. Both good sizes right there. Closing that right there, you do have a 12-volt outlet right here, as well as a household outlet right there as well. And I think I did open up this, but I'm going to open it up again. And you do have plenty of storage space down there. Basically can fit my whole forearm down in there. And down there you do have another USB-C port and another USB-A port, which is awesome. But again, plenty of room for storage if you want, you know, to count coins or something like that. You've got this little holder right here, so you can put your quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, stuff like that in those slots right there. Or, you know, if you don't want to mess with your phone while you're driving, you can also set your phone down in there as well. But let's get out and let's move into the rear. And I don't think I mentioned seat comfort, but in the front seats, very, very comfortable. And these rear seats are also very, very comfortable. And this is going to sound kind of funny, but when I sit in these seats, my top half, like where my shoulders-ish are, it just feels like the seat's kind of like hugging me. And it feels like these seats are made out of like memory foam or something like that. Just like in the F-350 review that I did, those seats were very, very comfortable. And this truck is no different. However, this truck does feel just a little bit more comfortable than an F-350. And you know, that's hard to do because those F-350 seats were very comfortable. But let's talk about connectivity in the rear. Back here, you've got a USB-C, USB-A thing right there. You also do have a 120-volt outlet right there, so like a home outlet right there. 2 heated rear seats, so this seat's heated, this seat's heated, as well as a 12-volt outlet right there, and your vents for air condition are right here. But one thing that I do like when truck manufacturers do is when they put a cup holder right in the door, like at this spot right here. And I know this is funny because I'm going to be comparing an F-150 to a Honda Ridgeline, but the Honda Ridgelines have the cup holders in the door like that. And I don't know, if you got a dog and your dog's thirsty and they're sitting in the back here, you can set a cup right in here, and it's just easier for them to drink water. And it's just an easy place to put a water bottle or a cup of water or something like that, even if you're sitting in the back seat right here. It's just an easy place to grab it rather than like down here in the bottom of the door card. But let's talk about those cup holders right here, because you got a few more right here. You got 2 cup holders in the center, and you also do again have this center fold down armrest if there's nobody sitting in the middle. But opening up the door right here, definitely plenty of room for storage. You could store a water bottle horizontally right there, or you want to put another water bottle right here, or if you want to put a small little umbrella in the door card right there, you can do that as well. And you got some more storage space up top here if you want to put a phone or something like that. You got the storage space to do that right there as well. Again, Bang & Olufsen sound system. It's got that beautiful metal surround around the speaker. It just makes the truck look that much more premium. The truck in the front does have automatic up-down windows in the front. However, you do not have automatic up-down windows in the back. You do have to hold it down and hold it back up. But let's move into the front again. I'm going to show you that. I don't think I mentioned you do have 3 memory seat people right here. So if you want your car to memorize 3 different drivers, you can do that. But like I said, automatic up-down in the front. Power folding mirrors right here on both sides. And obviously you do have blind spot right there. Another thing that I did want to mention is that this thing does have automatic tilt and telescoping steering wheel right here, just by the push of that button right there. And you do have these 2 buttons right here to turn on your puddle lights. And by the push of this button, this thing turns on the generator in the rear. And when I push this button, you'll notice that the RPMs get higher in the truck. So listen, watch this. Push the button and the RPMs raise. About 200 RPM, but let's turn that off. We're not running a generator right here. And you do have your opening tailgate button right there. So push that button, the tailgate pops open. We can do that right here. Tailgate pops down. Push the button again. Tailgate comes up. Just like that. And obviously you do have all your headlight controls right here, as well as your cargo light. So if you push this button, it turns on the cargo lights in the rear, but we'll leave that off. These buttons obviously adjust the brightness of your dash right here, as well as the lights in these buttons right here. And this button right here pushes the pedals either away or towards you. So watch me push this button right here. See how the pedals are moving towards me, and if I push this button up here, the pedals move away. So that's a pretty cool feature, and that just gives you that much more comfortability when adjusting your seat and pedals and steering wheel, just to make you that much more comfortable when driving this vehicle. And obviously you do have an electronic parking brake right here. But let's open up the hood right here, and let's see what that 3.5 liter V6 looks like. Obviously it honked because the truck is on, but let's pop this hood open right here, and boom. That's that 3.5 liter V6, like I said, that makes 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. So you can definitely see that they left a little bit of room in there for a V8, and obviously there is the 5 liter V8. However, for the Raptor R, I know that they're putting in a supercharged V8, so look forward to that. It's supposed to have over 700 horsepower. But let's talk about features here real quick. If you guys want to pause your screen right here and just take a look at the window sticker, you can do that. I'm just going to go down here. But this thing does have the 402A equipment group, and it's also a Tremor, like I mentioned, so you can see all the features right here. And here's all the optional equipment down here. And if you look, this is all standard equipment up top here. So if you want to freeze your screen, feel free to do that. The MSRP of this particular truck is $71,375, and I think it's worth it. You know, this thing's basically a fully loaded truck. It's got every option that you could ever really want in a truck. So like I said, if you're interested in this particular truck, hit up Matt Newman. He's a great guy, and he'll hook you up with a great deal. This truck in particular, like I mentioned, you can only get that 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. But with that V6, you get 16 miles per gallon city and 20 miles per gallon highway, which isn't terrible considering, you know, you've got beefy off-road tires, the truck's not super light, and you got 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. But like I mentioned, we talked about the interior, we talked about the exterior, and we've talked about the performance. Now I want to see what this thing's like to drive. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. And now on to the driving portion of the review. And you know, I've driven this car around a little bit because I drove it from the dealership to the first spot where we were going to go film. And there's just too many people there, and it just didn't really work out. So then we drove over to the second spot to do the review. So we ended up doing it there. So right now I've put about like 20 miles on this car, about exactly actually. And the first impressions that I have of driving this car is just how smooth it is. It's very smooth, and it's very quiet on the highway. Like I got it up to about 55, 60 miles an hour, and very quiet, and it goes over bumps very, very well. And one thing I don't think I mentioned when I was doing the walk around of the car on the exterior is that this thing actually does have leaf springs out back. And you know, this is definitely one of the best, actually it's the best truck that I've driven with leaf springs. And yeah, you do, like if you go over little bumps and they're like little undulations that really agitate the rear, you can definitely feel that it's got leaf springs. It definitely bounces up and down a little bit as compared to like something like it with a independent rear suspension. But I definitely think that this truck, even with that the leaf springs out back, it just rides very, very well. On the highway it rides very well, and it doesn't really, other than those few times where you go over those bumps and you can feel it bounce up and down like that, you can't really tell that this thing has leaf springs. It just rides very, very smooth. And going over just like regular bumps like that, you can't tell that it's got leaf springs. It's not like super bumpy. It's not annoying or anything like that. It rides, like I mentioned for the 4th time, it's very, very smooth, very quiet. This car does have adaptive cruise control. You've got your blind spot monitoring, which actually on certain cars, like when you have the blind spot monitoring and you look like in the mirrors and stuff, and like the sun's beating down on the mirror, you kind of have a hard time seeing the blind spot alert. But this truck, it actually has got very bright blind spot alert at the top left of at least the driver mirror and the top right of the passenger mirror. So you have really no issue seeing the blind spot light. So that's something I wanted to add. You also do have these big side view mirrors, which actually, you know, there's not really much of a blind spot on this truck at all. Like there's just glass pretty much everywhere. So if you're worried about having like a big blind spot on this truck, you don't have to worry about that. It's great. But if you do have a blind spot, or if you're short or something like that, and you do have a blind spot, you've got your blind spot monitoring to help so you don't like crash into somebody in your blind spot. But another thing I wanted to add was I really like driving down the road with this big digital dash. You know, I can see my speed. It's huge. Like I'm going 53 miles an hour, and the 53 is just huge. Like it makes it really easy to see how fast I'm going. Because some digital speedometers, they have like the speed that you're going, but the speed is a little too small in certain vehicles. Same with the RPM gauge, big RPM gauge. You can see exactly I'm at 1200 RPMs, and it doesn't say 1200, it says 1.2, but then it says 1,000 times RPM, so you get 1200 RPM. But like I said, really like the digital screen. But another thing that I wanted to add was I only went through 2 different drive modes on the street, because I'm not really going to be doing any off-roading. There's no place to off-road this truck anyway. But I've only done 2 of the different driving modes. I've done normal and I've done sport. And let me tell you, when you put this thing into sport, there's a drastic difference in the throttle response. And there's a drastic difference, I believe, in the sound of the truck. So let's throw this into sport mode. Let me grab my camera right here, throw her into sport, and I'm going to show you guys what an acceleration is like in this truck, because it's not slow by any means. It's very fast. In 3, 2, hammer. No wheel spin. Woo! Damn, it rips. 60. That is not slow by any means. Like once it gets going, it probably hits, or we're going to switch back into normal mode. We don't want to be wasting too much gas here, but once you get off the line, and then boom, you feel all that power. It just pushes you so hard. This thing is very fast, like I mentioned earlier in the video. 5.8 seconds 0 to 60, not slow. Very impressive for a truck. And considering that this isn't a Raptor, I mean, I can only imagine what even like the Gen 3 Raptor is like, because I haven't driven one of those yet. But can you imagine, like, with that 5.8 seconds 0 to 60, not only it feels a lot faster than 5.8 seconds from 0 to 60, but, you know, I can only imagine what not only the 3rd gen Raptor is going to be like, but what the Raptor R is going to be like. Like, I drove that TRX, and man, that was insane. That acceleration, crazy. And the acceleration in this, crazy. Yeah, it's a little bit slower, but, you know, it doesn't really feel all that much slower. It feels very, very quick. But, you know, like I mentioned, very smooth ride, very quiet on the inside here. We're going about 53 miles an hour right now. And you know, we're going under an underpass. You know, when you sometimes like, when you're going on, like, let's say the highway, like I did a little bit of highway driving back over there, between spots, And you know when you go like from asphalt onto a bridge that's concrete, then asphalt again, it kind of gets like loud, like there's kind of like a high-pitched noise. Well, anyway, I drove over one of those spots, and just the insulation from the exterior is very, very good. You can't really hear that much outside noise like I mentioned when going over like that bridge. Like, it's not that loud, and I think that's really awesome. You could definitely do a long road trip in one of these. The seat comfortability, oh my god, these seats are probably some of the most comfortable seats that I've sat in, period. Like, these seats are very, very comfortable, very good. They've got a good amount of side bolstering on the side. I feel like I'm in the seat, so when I go around turns, I'm not like sliding throughout the seat at all. Just very, very comfortable seat. Like I said, 16 miles per gallon city, 20 miles per gallon highway, so not terrible. Obviously it's regular fuel. If you had a TRX or a Raptor R, I'm sure the Raptor R is going to be premium fuel. But you know, I'm very impressed with just the fit and finish of this truck. You know, everything it's got a really nice feel to it, like this leather here, the leather on the shifter. This leather right here is just very soft touch. The materials that they use between like this shark gray metallic type thing around the 12-inch screen, the Bang & Olufsen sound system's awesome. But just the material that they use on top of the dash is the same material that they use on the top of the door on all 4 doors. And I think that just the matching between the top of the door panel along with the padded material on the armrest right here to go along with the interior leather right here and just the Tremor badge, I think everything comes together very well. And I think this is probably one of the best put together interiors that I've seen on a truck. Like, yes, the Ram interiors are very nice, but you know, it's kind of like just I don't know, it's a different interior. And yeah, obviously when you get to like the Laramies and the Limiteds and stuff like that, the Ram interiors do get very, very nice, and they've got like just all the really nice stitching and stuff like that. But I think just that the dash layout and just the digital dash right here and just the center console, they all match each other very, very nicely. Like, they've got the same amount of quality in the screen, the display, very, very crisp, very, like, just, I don't know, it's a very good feeling. And when you hit like the different buttons on the display, instant response time. The wireless Apple CarPlay is great. I haven't had any issues with it. And you know, like in the F-250, it did like trip up a little bit. I haven't had the Sync 4 trip up at all in this F-150. I don't know, I'm just a huge fan of this truck. You've got all the features that you could really ever want, plus you've got a baby Raptor. So if you don't really go off-roading all that much, but you want the look of an off-roader, definitely take a look at this F-150 Tremor. Obviously it's going to be a little bit cheaper than a Raptor as well. And you know, I haven't driven the Rebel like I mentioned, or the Trail Boss, but you know, this thing rides very, very smooth. And just like I mentioned again, the fit and finish of this interior is very, very good. So like I said, if you're interested in this particular Tremor, or a Tremor in black, or another white Tremor, again, Matt Newman at Koons Sterling Ford, he's a great guy. He'll give you a fair deal. So like I mentioned, if you're interested in this Ford, I'll have his information in the description box down below. But I'm on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think of the F-150 Tremor. Let me know if you've test driven a Trail Boss, or test driven a Rebel, or test driven all 3 trucks. And let me know which one you like best. Also, let me know which feature you like best on the Tremor in the comment section down below. But like I said, please hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.